Yeshua of the Galilee. You can see Yeshua as a statue or a painting or even hold on to him as something literal. I get it. From a human point of view, even adults sometimes need an invisible companion, an imaginary friend, or a father they do not have. But if you're willing to look beyond the surface, beyond the headlines, the clickbait, the endless "this is the truth about Jesus," the real teachings of Jesus, or what they've hidden from you until now, videos, you might find that the real story was never hidden, just buried in plain sight inside the Hebrew words themselves. In this video, we'll delve into the profound meaning of the word Galil, which holds the key to a deeper understanding of Yeshua's teachings. Not just one of the most beautiful regions in Israel, not just a physical location on a map, but a state of consciousness, the core of where Yeshua's revelation begins, a center point for the essence of revelation, the heart of the mystery we call Jesus, the very frequency at which the story of Yeshua begins to unfold. Watch closely. Let the word guide you. Sometimes a single syllable is all it takes to remember everything. A single word can open more than 1,000 books. Keep your eyes on the screen. The word alone will begin to tell you the story. The word Galil begins with gal, a wave. But not just a wave of water, a wave of unfolding, of motion, of revelation. This is not a place, it's a pulse. It's the movement of the word before it becomes sound. Gal is the moment before creation takes form. The spiral before the circle closes. The breath before the voice. The womb before the name. From gal comes golel, to roll. And from rolling comes the scroll. Not a book, but a wave made flesh. A story that doesn't begin with ink, but with memory. Yeshua came from the Galil because the Galil is where waves turn into bodies, where the word becomes a wound and the wound becomes a door. His name rolled through time, not as a doctrine, but as a tremor in the language itself. Gal, galut, gula, exile, revelation, return. He was weaned from Mary, from milk, from water, and the wave moved on, not to destroy, but to continue, to return as Ishmael, to rise again in Islam, to move again through sound, not sight. Shema Yisrael, Ishmael. The wave is listening. Every time you remember this word, Gal, something rolls open again, another layer of memory, another pulse from the deep. Because a wave never ends, it just becomes shore. And in that stillness, you'll hear it again. Not a preacher, not a prophecy, but the word whispering inside your own name, Gal, the wave that never stops. Because it was never meant to,